Oracle, the global database giant, is betting big on cloud-based software services, and India has been at the helm of this growth. India has seen a double-digit growth to its top-line revenues in software-as-a-service market for the last 3 years, making India the best-performing region in the Asia-Pacific market. But what exactly is SaaS, or software-as-a-services? What are the demand trends, and how will Oracle achieve its aim of becoming the world's largest SaaS player? Hello and welcome to this very special conversation with Oracle's SaaS India head, Mr. Prasad Rai, and I am Reema Tendulkar. Prasad, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to CNBC TV 18. First, if you could start off by explaining what exactly is SaaS, software as a service, for the uninformed, and what are the key demand drivers?
Thank you for getting me on this session, Reema. Software as a service is a trend that started a few years ago, where application software has been delivered to the customer in a much more agile and simple fashion, so that the customer is able to consume that and derive the business benefits that they are looking for. Traditionally, software was delivered to the customer. Applications was delivered to the customer in the form of on-premise, where the customer had to deploy it on the infrastructure and build it up before they got the benefits. But with software as a service, which is what we call SaaS, we are actually able to do all of that internally at Oracle and deliver to the customer a ready-made application that can go up and running in a matter of weeks. This trend of moving from traditional software to SaaS started some years ago and has been picking up very rapidly in India and across the globe. The three large areas where we have software as a service applications are in ERP and EPM, human resources, customer relationship management, and supply chain management. This market is actually growing at over 30% globally, year over year. And if you were to look at that as a part of the overall market, out of a total software applications market of about $180 billion globally, 75 plus billion currently is from software as a service, and this is growing much faster than the traditional software. The biggest chunk of this market is the ERP space, which has also traditionally been the largest. And the highest growth potential is in the cloud ERP space. The other big components are the CRM solutions, which is really about how customers or companies are able to go and interact with their customers. And the other big piece is human resources, which is about how companies are able to manage their employees across the country and across the globe. So as far as software as a service is concerned, it's a really exciting space for us in the application space.
Okay, about a 30% growth that it's seen on a year-on-year basis, and out of the $180 million market, $75 billion would come in from SaaS as a market. For Oracle, it's a change in the business model, right? You were earlier largely an on-premise, license-based model for your products, and now you're moving towards SaaS. If you could just tell us what percentage of your revenues for India come in from SaaS. Your revenues as of the last year were about 46,000 crores. So what percentage would be from SaaS?
So, as of now, if you look at it, the move to SaaS has been in the last 4 to 5 years for Oracle globally and at India too. If the growth rate of our SaaS, for example, in the first half of the year, ERP grew 50% year over year, much faster than our traditional software. Now, the way we see that is with the additional growth coming in not just from ERP, but also from human resources and CX, we will be in a position to be almost an entirely SaaS-based company in the next couple of years. So in effect, our SaaS revenues are growing significantly faster than the traditional businesses, and that in the next couple of years or so, our SaaS revenues would probably be much more than the traditional software revenues. Globally, if you look at it, our applications revenue was about $11.1 billion, out of which just ERP and human resources SaaS revenues was about $2.2 billion. But the growth rates, like I said, on the SaaS solutions is much faster than in the case of the traditional on-premise software. For example, in Q1, globally, our ERP business grew 30% year over year.
Okay. You indicated that the SaaS market is seeing a 30% growth globally. Is that the case in India as well? And what has been Oracle's growth? Are you outpacing the industry?
So the Indian growth as far as the SaaS is about 31 or 32% year over year. And our Fusion ERP growth, which is the cloud growth, is in excess of 50%. So we are actually outpacing the market itself and acquiring market share from the competition. So, and we've seen this happen not just in this financial year, we've seen that happen in the last couple of financial years too.
Okay, what is your current market share? And if you could just give us the pecking order, say, compared to a Microsoft as well as the other large players.
So currently our vision is to be the leader and to dominate in the SaaS marketplace. And I think we are well on our way in that space. For example, Workday, another global player, has an ERP offering. And globally, we've sold almost 30 times what Workday has sold in the ERP space. Similarly, we have good growths in human resources and the customer experience space. So overall, I think in about a year's time, we should be in a position to be the market leader in India as far as SaaS is concerned. While at this point in India, I can't really still tell you because the data is still not very much available. I would think we are very close to being the market leader as far as this is concerned. It's just a matter of a few quarters more where I think we are in a better position to be the market leader in SaaS.
Is there any reason to believe this industry growth rate of 30% will slow down in the future?
I think the industry growth rate will continue and maybe even accelerate. The last 4 to 5 years have been the time where many customers in India and globally have started their move to the SaaS-based applications. They've also started realizing the benefits of those SaaS-based applications. And with newer applications, right, like IoT and artificial intelligence and blockchain coming into the mainstream and being used by customers all over India and over the world, and they are native to the cloud-based application platform. So personally, I believe that the growth rate will continue and maybe even accelerate over the next few years because the opportunity for growth is much higher. And in fact, if you look at the projection, I'm just giving an example of ERP, that is expected to more than double globally from 7 billion to 14.9 billion by 2022. And on the other side, the traditional on-premise ERP business revenues are expected to decline from 21.5 billion to 20.5 billion, right? So it is really about the conversion of the existing on-premise customers onto the cloud or onto SaaS. And that will either maintain the pace or gather more momentum.
Okay. So
that's how I see the whole market evolving.
Okay. So what percentage of your enterprise clients right now, say in India, have migrated from the on-premise services to cloud-based services?
I can give you some data on that from a global perspective, Rima. If you look at it, for example, in the ERP space, roughly about 21% of the revenues are from the SaaS business, right? So the headroom for growth over there is enormous. And if you were to look at human resources and at CRM, that is 50% of the revenue plus comes from the SaaS areas. We have quite a few of the largest and iconic customers in India that have moved from on-premise solutions to the cloud. For example, there is State Bank of India, SBI, there is Transworld, there is Hindalco, there is Reliance, there are a bunch of other companies, including Taj Hotels, that have moved from our on-premise to the cloud-based solution. So we're seeing that migration happening and gaining momentum fairly rapidly. That's how the outlook for us is right now.
But what percentage, in what stage of the journey are for enterprises to move to cloud? Are we 20% there? Are we 30% there? At least say for the Fortune 500 companies, if you could put a number to that, just to get a sense of the movement from on-prem to cloud.
At this point, I would believe it's in the teens, Rima, but I also see the momentum picking up over that, right? Our first port of call would really be to our install base. And we really want to work with them and help move them to the cloud. And more customers are not just accepting, they are actually coming forward and looking, having realized the benefits of moving to the cloud, they're really looking at adopting it, sometimes as a part of their entire digital transformation, or sometimes their approach is picking up particular LOBs or functional areas and moving that onto the cloud. So while it's still early days, the rate of growth is fairly high, and we continue to see the interest levels only increasing with our customers.
Mr. Prasad Rai, and I am Rima Tendulkar. Prasad, what about competition from the likes of an Amazon or a Microsoft or an SAP? They too are innovating at a very rapid pace.
Yes, absolutely. And we see them in the market pretty much every day, right? They are large organizations prevalent across the country with a good install base, but we see them pretty much every day in the market. The difference that we bring to the table is that we are the only vendor in the market that is able to provide the complete suite of solutions. And they are pre-integrated, right? What that really means is that the customer is able to get the benefits of the solutions much faster at a more economical price, and this actually doesn't have to spend too much time or effort looking at how they have to integrate various solutions together. So the biggest strength that we have against any of our competitors is the comprehensive suite. The other benefit that we have is that we've got a judicious blend of applications that span products that have been developed within Oracle and products that we've acquired. And the acquired products have typically been the best in class in the market. And together, we are able to bring to the table an absolutely comprehensive range of solutions. So the customer does not have to go through all the trouble and the expenditure of stitching these solutions together. And we are able to provide them business flows that are seamless from beginning to the end. And I think that's where we really make a difference, and that's where we start bringing value to the customer and help them, because in this world, agility is becoming more and more important. And agility can actually be derived if you have an integrated suite of solutions. And that's really what makes the difference for us.
You know, there are a few concerns about security as well as performance when you're on cloud. So what are the challenges that you face in trying to get people on board to cloud?
So I think the challenges that we really face are, one, obviously, people have been used to the traditional way software is consumed. They've been using it for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And then, so the biggest challenge that we come across is about making that change, taking that leap from what has been successful to what will set the agenda for the future. That is the biggest challenge that we have. The second challenge that we have are perceptions, right? The perceptions are really about, will we have the kind of response times that we require? Is the quality or the security measures that are being taken very strong? And all of these are real questions that come to us from our customers and our prospects. And each of these areas, because the cloud solutions have evolved, and so have the networks and the bandwidth availability, we are able to actually get the kind of response that a customer would typically have on an on-premise solution, even though they are on the cloud. Second, in terms of security, that is absolutely important for a company like Oracle, because we deal with some of the largest companies in the country and globally. And therefore, we pay a lot of attention to make sure that at every stage of the cycle, security is paramount. So in short, there are two areas. One is about change management, which is moving from what they've been accustomed to a modern, much more agile kind of application. The second is about perceptions, about the speed at which the application flows in, and also about security, both of which I think can be very easily translated for the customer, and they have a very large number of real customers that have been using it for years now successfully without any problems.
Prasad, machine learning is soon going to become the new battlefield in SaaS. Can you share the kind of work Oracle is doing for some of its clients?
Absolutely right, Rima. As we go and talk to customers, pretty much in every other conversation, machine learning, artificial intelligence is a part of the conversation, and the customer really wants to know how that is being developed, how that is evolving, how it will help them. If you look at machine learning, and associated with that is artificial intelligence, it is now prevalent in every functional area of the customer, whether it's in marketing and sales, whether it's in operations, whether it is in manufacturing, in any of the areas of a customer's function, it is very prevalent. And the approach that Oracle has taken is not to provide a separate machine learning or artificial intelligence solution. We are embedding them, these machine learning and artificial intelligence solutions, into our applications, so that the customer is able to take the benefit of these advanced technologies straight away in the way that they are using the applications. Just to give you a very simple example, senior level executives have a large number of approvals. These could be travel approvals, entertainment approvals, business approvals that they have to do on a regular basis. But for them, with their busy lifestyle, it becomes really difficult to do all of these approvals. What we do with our applications is we embed machine learning and artificial intelligence so that a majority of these approvals are taken care of by the system itself, based on the past practices that have been used by the executive. In effect, a lot of the manual work or repetitive work that a senior executive does is taken care of by the system, right? Similarly, in the area of marketing and sales, there are a large number of activities that are done, regularly. For example, there are a series of campaigns that will be sent out. With the help of machine learning and artificial intelligence, what we are able to do is, from the past experience, derive the best way to be able to target the right kind of campaigns to the end customer without overloading them with multiple messages. And this is basically based on the fact that we have accumulated data, which the machine learns from, runs it past a set of algorithms, and then provides you with outcomes that help us run much more targeted and specific marketing campaigns. So in effect, our approach, Oracle's approach, is embedding machine learning and artificial intelligence into our applications so that we are able to actually trawl through a lot of information and provide the customers with decisions that can be executed at scale. And that is really how we're doing in the area of marketing, machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Okay, so that's a differentiated offering that Oracle is providing. If you could just tell us, are you making any kind of investments, any number that you could put? Perhaps is there any acquisition which is on the cards?
Globally, Oracle has always, in the past, has had a series of acquisitions. But in the end, as far as the future is concerned, I think I'll not really be in a position to tell you how that will pan out. But we've built a fairly judicious mix of applications that have been grown, homegrown, and through acquisitions. Sorry, on that front, I don't think I'll really be able to share any additional information with you.
Okay, your target 5 years from now?
My target 2 years from now would really be less than 2 years from now, would be to be the market leader in the SaaS marketplace. And by 5 years, I would think we want to be the dominant force as far as the cloud-based applications are concerned. And I think we are well on our way to that space, thanks to the strong suite of products that we have.